Okay, so at this moment, Mike Todd is being transparent with this audience. And I say audience as opposed to congregation because this guy loves a show. He says that 2 weeks after the Easter show, um, he felt like he didn't want to preach anymore. People gave him open rebuke. None of those people ever texted him back. They called him a false prophet, said that he was an unfit parent. Now, a few of those things are true, except for the part about him being an unfit parent. I don't know anything about that. I'm pretty sure that he's a great father to his children. But let me say this, any man that, let me rephrase that, any man or woman that does not take well to open rebuke is not a person that you want to be around or to have as a spiritual teacher. This man is not a leader. He said during the Easter celebration, or that debauchery, whatever you want to call it, that when he was called to preach in 2015 to be pastor of Transformation Church, he didn't know what a pastor did. And then when it came to an Easter program, he said, we're going to do everything short of sin. Now, this is a challenge that I have for Mike Todd. Instead of worrying about influencing other people, strip yourself down completely of your title, of your wealth, of everything. Go to the Bible and find out what a pastor does. That's number one. Number two, get rid of the hip hop, get rid of the R&B. Stop making these music services like concerts. Strip down to the innermost part of your soul and just have true, genuine worship without all of that music and with all of that hoopla. And let's see how many people will actually respond and be different after your services. Here's another thing that you can do. Downsize your church. As far as it goes to churches, it was never meant to be this multimedia conglomerate. It was never meant to be that way. Find a smaller building and begin to preach from the Bible and see how many of the same members that you had will come back. You know what the answer is going to be? It's not going to be the same amount. The answer is going to be no. Most of them are not going to come back because they have already grown accustomed to his garbage. That's number one. Now, number two, let's find out how Transformation Church got started. In order to do that, we're going to have to go back to the beginning. So, Gary and Debbie McIntosh and Tommy and Brenda Todd used to work for Carlton Pearson, and they helped to build Higher Dimension Christian Worship Center. I hope I said that right. And then Gary and his wife Debbie, they went on to start their own church. And then Tommy and Brenda, they started their own church. Now you got to understand, when Mike Todd originally began his ministry, or whatever you want to call it, he was a sound engineer at Gary's church. And then his parents wanted him to do a youth group. The youth group grew, and then he was given responsibilities to preach here and there. And then when Gary got sick, Mike had to do sermons full time. And then he was given a torch in 2015 to run, yes, you've guessed it, the church, Transformation Church. Transformation Church originally became Transformation Church because of Gary's church and Tommy's church, and those two churches fused together. So the McIntoshes and the Todds, their churches transformed to create one church, Transformation Church. What alarms me is the fact that people are not worshiping Christ. They're actually worshiping this man. This man does not follow biblical doctrine. None of what he's saying is sound. And when you try to debate this with people, they say, oh, you're hating, you need to pray for him. Yeah, prayer is important. But we also need to understand and come to the understanding that you can't play with God. You can't play with God's people. Many souls are going to be in trouble because of this man if they don't come out of their ignorance. And this is all being said in love. Once this man learns how to strip himself of his titles and everything else, he'll be all right. On top of that, let me mention this. His net worth is $5 million. Doing what exactly? This. People take churches like these and make positions. Nepotism. But anyway, I want to know what's your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section below. Peace.